2016 budget and 2017, when will the transition really start? When do we end 2016 and kick off 2017 appropriations?
Officially, 2016 finished on the 6th, but there are some ministries that are still ending some of their procurements, and some of them have money which we didn't sweep up. We'll leave the window open for a few more days so that projects can be finished. We're very conscious of the sweeping. The hard sweeping causes uncompleted projects, and we're very keen to ensure that projects that were started in 2016 are finished. Of course, priority projects that cross two financial years have already been included in 17, so they'll just roll over, and then we'll begin to release 2017 capital. So there should be a very seamless transition with the processes that we've put in place.
When budget 2017 kicks off, you haven't given any specific date as to when that will happen, but when it happens, how will you hit the ground running? What will be the first and immediate action points for you?
Well, we've already been raising capital. We do that every year. Whilst waiting for the budget to be appropriated, we raise capital according to market conditions. So where we've seen good conditions in the market, we've gone ahead and raised capital. So we do have some capital on standby, and that will be the first capital to be released for the 2017 budget, much as we did last year. Our commitment to capital expenditure is a firm one. We see that as the way that will get the economy growing and get us out of the current recession. So we're ready with funds available to actually release for 2017 budget as soon as it's formally assented to by the acting president.
Broadly speaking, what do you think the new budget will deliver?
The new budget is really about a continuation of the process that we'd started. As you know, the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan is a plan that is a multi-year plan. And it's really aimed at repositioning the Nigerian economy and moving us not just out of recession, but into sustainable growth. So those key projects, particularly in infrastructure, that we believe will enable business growth and allow us to not only get out of recession, but really get into sustainable growth, will be prioritised. The other areas, apart from releasing money, because it's not all just about releasing money, there are also softer reforms that need to occur in the ease of doing business, in the enabling environment that will allow Nigeria really to attain its potential. So really, this budget is a continuation of the work we started last year. It's in furtherance of the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, and the aim is really to move Nigeria forward. We expect to see a lot more in terms of a trickle down to the man on the street, because a lot of what we did last year was preparatory, and now we'll begin to see projects being actually completed and finished, and therefore start to see some of the business growth that we expect around the infrastructure that we've provided.
A very important something you touched about, how the budget touched the common man. So some specifics would Sophia, would you like to take us through that?
Well, there are specific projects. Of course, every infrastructure, I mean, if it's roads, if it's rail, it touches the common man. But there are specific palliatives that we built in. We started last year with the social intervention programs, school feeding, transfers, conditional cash transfers of 5,000 naira to the very poorest. That has started, but this year will be a continuation. We'll roll out to more states. We'll cover more people. Of course, there's the traditional health and education expenditure, again, that will favour the man on the street, quote unquote. There's also investment in transportation, in rail, for example, people being able to move to work by rail instead of having to ride a car. It affects the common man. So it will begin to trickle down in a very much more visible manner. And of course, the biggest area will be the job creation. And job creation, we've always said, is not the job of government directly, it's the job of government indirectly. We have got to create the enabling environment that allows businesses to thrive. And for businesses to thrive, they've got to be able to invest. So we need all the pillars to be in place. Government should provide the infrastructure and the ease of doing business. The money markets, the monetary policy should support in terms of interest rate and exchange rate, which we're getting, and that will allow businesses to open up, and these businesses will employ millions of Nigerians. That's really the aim, and that's where we see the Nigerian economy going.
Well, it's been a very interesting few weeks for Nigeria, with a number of positive outlook projections from the IMF, launched the economic report for Sub-Saharan Africa about a week ago. We have some few positive ratings, as it were, if you want to put it that way, on the banking sector from Moody's, from Fitch, and the rest of them, and a few other economic analysts. So how much more do you think this administration needs to do to cover those gray areas, for example, how to faithfully, quote unquote, implement the ERGP?
It's all, as you've said, about implementation. We've got a very good, very well put together plan. We've built around it monitoring and evaluation of our progress, which the delivery unit in the presidency are doing, and which also the Ministry of Budget and Planning do with their own monitoring unit. So it's really now about implementation and the monitoring of that implementation. Cash backing a project is not enough. You've got to go to the stage of actually the micro level. Was it done? How was it done? Was it done on time? I think what gives me a lot of confidence is this administration has shown itself to be a can-do administration, where we've taken on projects, we've managed them well, we've marshalled resources and got things done. And I think as we begin to roll out further, people will begin to feel the impact and feel that this plan is not just a plan, it's actually being implemented. It's been broken down very well in a way that you can actually measure progress. And I know that the economic management team, and in particular the Minister of Budget and Planning, very keen on managing. What are the milestones? How will we know that we're getting there? And I think there'll be a lot of focus on that with periodic reporting of our progress against the plans. We're very determined. The situation that we're in, we really can't afford to fail. We've got to implement this plan properly because we know that doing so will take us out, not only, as I keep saying, out of recession, but really into long-term growth. And it will begin to actualise Nigeria's potential. I think all the outlooks from IMF, 0.8%, World Bank, there's a consensus that we'll grow this year. But how much we will grow by, what's the delta, how much additional growth can we get, will be a function of how well we implement on this plan.
Well, I'm sure that you're already writing part of your midterm report for the Buhari's administration as the Minister of Finance. What is in the report you're writing as President Buhari 4-year term goes halfway in the next 2 Mondays, 29th of May to be precise?
I think the story will be a positive one. We've been through the probably, a perfect storm in Nigeria. Everything that economically could have gone wrong had gone wrong within the last sort of 18 months. And Nigeria has shown incredible resilience to be where it is today. And that gives us a lot of confidence and optimism around the future. We've been through low oil price, we've been through low oil quantity, we've had shocks in power, we've had foreign exchange related issues, and yet Nigeria has proved a certain level of resilience and resistance. And that really is the building block that we'll build upon now. Now that macroeconomic conditions are a lot more stable and a lot more favourable, and with the sort of momentum that this administration will bring, we've raised the capital. A lot of the things that were seen to have been difficult, we've been able to do. We've come back to the international capital markets. They've embraced Nigeria. They like what we're doing. They like the reforms. And now we just have to build on them. So I think our midterm report will be a lot more to do, but I think we've done creditably well given the conditions that we inherited and were foisted upon us.